So let's start the tutorial. So this is the default view of the FontLab software. When you open it, you might not see this preview panel, which you can open from panels and preview. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is create a new file. We'll go to new font. We'll create on a new font, and we will click on this. This is Latin, so this character set is for Latin symbol, but as we want to create a new font from scratch, we will just close that, and we click on encoding from none to drawing, FontLab drawing. So this is the workspace created by FontLab, so that it is easier to create a new typeface. It is ordered in a way that the Latin characters are created, so from space N O A I. So this is how the character development starts. So first off, we will add all these letter forms to our typeface. So for that, you have to select all those characters. You can click on the first character, press shift, and click on the last character and press enter. So now you see this, the color or the look has changed slightly. Let's make this panel look bigger. So you might have different setting here. So I like to do is click on flex, and you can slide this down or up to make the window bigger or smaller. Okay, so the first we will do is save the font file. Press Ctrl S. You can save as let's make a new folder. Let's name it Titan. Okay, so first we will define some font properties. So this depends on the kind of typeface you are creating. If you are creating a single weight font, you don't need to worry about all these things. But if you are creating a multiple weight typeface, it is better to organize this file, so it is easier in the later process. So there are different methods by how we start creating a typeface. Some type designers like to create a regular weight and then create a lightweight and then a bold weight, or some designers just create a lightweight and a bold weight, and all those weights, all those in between weights are created using interpolation. So this also depends on how many weights you want to have in your typeface. If you want to have like 8 or 9 weights, it is recommended that you have to have a middle weight. So for that you can create a regular weight. So this will be super refined, and you will spend more time creating this regular weight, and then you will create a lighter version of this weight and bold version of weight. But for this tutorial we will have two masters. One will be light and one will be the bold. So we will create so for this tutorial we will want to create a typeface which has 5 weights. So first we will go to master panel and rename it to light. You can double click on the name and this lightweight will be created. And you can click on this duplicate masters and copy glyphs layers and create board. So now you have two layers, light and bold. So this we will first click on lightweight, go to names, and we will change the name of our font. So for this tutorial, let's say we have named our font Titan. Click on just rename it Titan, and you will see that there are different parameters you have to define for a font. So this is the lightweight, so I will click on light. So the lightweight has like universal properties of 300, bold is 700. So that way our font weight has set. Our width is normal, our slope class is plain. So if we are creating italic variant of our font, we will go and click on italic. So just click on the refresh icon everywhere. So this will automatically rename all dependent font name as per specification. Click on apply. Again we will click on bold and make sure that our weight class is set properly. We will also click on build name. We can do that also, or we can just individually click on those names. Click apply. This is another important setting you have to set. It depends on your typeface, what is the ascender height will be, descender line gap. This we can change later depending on our font. So for this tutorial we will keep our cap height as 700 and X height at 500 as default. Another important panel is creator legal. So in creators we have different parameters we can define. So this is vendor URL, designer name, and designer URL, etc. So we can set creation date and version name. So all these fields are required, not required, but it is good that all those fields are filled. In legal field we will write trademark. License URL and the license. So these are another options. You can make sure this if your font if you want to allow your font to embed in PDF or not. So only printing and previewing of this document is allowed. Allow subsetting. All this these are important fields, but this will be created automatically end of the and we have finished creating our typeface. We'll just have to click on this diamond icon. We'll click it and you see it has automatically chosen our Unicode ranges based on the glyph we have in our typeface. So for this we have Latin supplement and basic Latin, general punctuations and supplement punctuations, etc. Okay, so This axis panel is important if you are creating a multiple weight typeface. So this will be by this will be there by default. If it is not there, you can click on let's we'll remove this and create from set. Just click on plus and click on weight. So you will see there are all those fields populated automatically. For our typeface we have light to bold, so we'll remove other properties. So our light will be at 300, regular will be 400, medium 500, semi bold 600 and bold 700. So we'll remove other fields. Click on apply, and again we will make sure we will go to masters panel, click on light and make sure our weight is 400, make sure our weight is 300. So right now we have to change this to 300 and our bold to 700. This weight is our user weight, so we can define it as anything we want. We can say lightweight is 3 and bold is 7, or lightweight is 0 and bold is 100, but it might be difficult for you to realize what weight will be what. So it is recommended that you use 300, 700, all those numbers which will be exported in the font. So when we'll go to instance and create from axis, so it will create all those instance, and we'll again go to axis and make sure this is defined properly. So these are our design coordinates and these are user coordinates. So these are user coordinates which will be available when you export your typeface. So if you are using your typeface on web, you must have seen that font weight are defined as 400, 500, 500, 600, 700. Regular is at 400 and bold is usually at 700. So these are our design coordinates. We can set it as anything we want. We can go from 1 to 100 and it will be it will be adjusted accordingly. But for now we have set our design coordinates same as user coordinates. I will link in descriptions there is a detailed video about it on official FontLab channel, so you might want to check that out. We will change this to 300 because our typeface start as 300 and stops at 700. Click on 700 and click on OK. So it will ask if you want to scale or not. For now we will not scale it, so we will click on keep. Again we will go to this panel and you can see that it has the graph has changed drastically. Again we will click here, click on 300 and this will be 700. Click on OK. Again we will go we will set this point manually. Go to add points and from instance. So now you will have 5 points which are as you have set in instance panel. Click on this field, set to 300. This will be 700. Click on OK. And now you can see that this graph has linearly set. Click on apply. So now you have set your typeface file for multiple weight font. This will be light, regular, medium, semi bold and bold. So you can see in overview there are other information. So this is the basic setup I usually like to do. One more thing I I would want to see the preview of what characters I'm creating. View show. I don't know where that is. Anyways, we'll double click on N, and you can see this. This is our. So in this panel, let's close our font and open it again. This might be some bugs. We are not able to view our characters. See, now we can see in background what is the character that we are supposed to make. So first we will create N and then O. So this tutorial is not intended for like creating a whole typeface, because it requires a lot of time, and there is no way I can create a whole typeface in limited time. So in this tutorial I will go on about basic things that are necessary for creating a typeface. So when you double click on any of the panel, this other window will open. This is where you will be creating a typeface. If you are not seeing all this axis, you go to view, click on font guides, font dimensions and all, and if you click on this show spacing controls, it will be visible or invisible. So I like to have all this font guides and font dimensions visible on my panel. So this is the baseline is at 0, and this is X height pen, X height guide. So there are a couple of ways you can create a shape. I have described them in other tutorials. So we have to make sure, we have to first make sure that we are in the right layer. So let's say anyway, just create, we'll create using the rapid sketch tool. Click on 5 or click on this rapid sketch tool from the panel. You can click on shift to make sure that your line is perpendicular. And double click on this point. Now click on the anchor point, double click on this, so it will be it will make tangent. I am clicking space to move points in either horizontal or vertical directions, and I'm pressing Alt to move a point without changing handles. So if I press Alt, I can change the position of point without changing handle. So now you can see that our shape is there, but this part is not looking right. So this is because of counter direction. So the counter the shape directions matter in creating font. So for that you will double click on path. So this whole path will be selected, right click and click on reverse contour. So if every path has to be in same direction to to seamlessly integrate with each other. You can see by this arrow link. So this is in counterclock direction, and this shape is also in by this arrow you can see that this is also in counterclockwise directions. If you are not able to view this measurement, you can go to edit, preference, click on distance, clip window, and enables this quick measurement. There are different kind of measurements, so make sure it is on everywhere, or on fill or outline, depending on what you want to have. Click on apply, click on open, okay, and view. Okay, so now you can see that we have created the shape, but it is in the light layer. So first we would want to create all those clips for bold layer. So we will we will move this from one layer to another layer. For that you can select all, Command X or Control X, and click on bold layer, and Command V or Control V. So now you can see this bold layer has this shape, and light layer has nothing. So this is the layer panel where you can see the masters and another layers. The masters will be master layers will be in bold, it's like bold text, and other layers will be in. So if you create another layer, and this I like paste layer, okay, so those layer will be in normal text. So these layers does not belong to any of the masters. So in some cases, if you want to save your shape as a backup or something, you can do this. So for now we will remove this. First we will focus on bold. So if we go to this and click on, so this is another method of changing layers. If you click on this small icons on top left, you can change the layer. So this is for light and this is for bold. Okay, now we will make sure make sure to save your file once in a while. So now we will define what width or what thickness our typeface will be. So for bold weight, it is recommended that it is like 140, or you can make it as what you wish, but let's say we want to have 140 width. From this measurement panel you can see the so another way to change the shapes is using tuning lines. I prefer to use it. So click on view and click on tuning lines. So you will see these small lines. So these are very easy to manipulate our shape. So all these things I have already covered in previous tutorials. You can view this. So I will quickly make sure this shape looks nice. So when you are moving a point, so if you move without any special things, it will move by, like, it will be attached to your cursor. But while moving a point, if you click on control, now you can move the point very precisely. So this is very handy while making small adjustments. So this point should be little bit higher than our X height. So let's make it 10 points higher. Okay, So our horizontal thickness is 140 and vertical thickness is 133 around. We'll change it a little bit. We'll keep at 122 or something. Okay, now you can make a smaller changes to your typeface so that it looks nicer. I will add a point here. Click on P or click on pen tool and you can click to make a point, and I will change this. I will shift this to 100 points, and I will this point is 50 points below than this point, so I will remember this measurements and make sure that I am applying the same angles in all the characters. This will be like 30 points on vertical and 50 points on below, and I will change the shapes. It's not a prettiest and but let's move on. Okay, now we have created N. We'll create O. Double click on O and so if we want to cut this piece from the outer piece, we double click on the shape and right click and make it reverse contour. So now it has reverse. So first we will keep N and O in the same space. So we will select all those, select these clips and double click to open them. Now we have N and O in the same panel. So these are spacing controls which regulates how much space you want to have before and after glyphs. This is also important aspect of creating typeface. We'll make it 60 or something. You can write numbers there or just move this line manually. So first of all, we will make sure that we have our overshoots defined nicely. So first we will make those points align vertical in the center and those points in middle center. So we can click on this middle point and change this to 0. So now they are aligned in the middle. So we will change shift this point to 10 points up, this also 10 points down, and now we have our weight, horizontal width of 140 and this is 122 around. So we'll make sure that it is defined here. Will be 122, 122 here and 140 in here. So now we will change You can double click on this blue dot and it will be automatically set that all the sandals have 60% tension. Now you can see in preview panel we have N and O created. So this space is 60. So for this O we will have 55-55, or we can make it like 50-50 on both sides. And O. So at first we'll make sure that our N and O are looking nicely and the weight between them is perfect. We can go to this text panel and we can type N O from our keyboard, or any other way we can just copy paste. So from preview panel you can judge if the spacing is right or not, or if the weight is distributed nicely or not. We can see that the O has little bit more. O looks like it has more weight. So my preview panels, I have changed this to invert preview. You might have this normal preview button. So I like to preview in black and white in inverted mode, so that I can make a judgment better about negative spaces. We will change this 5 points down and up. Now you can see that it looks about right. There is another method to make sure that our curves have the tension we want to have. Make sure to save your file in between. The spacing between those between and also matters. You can quickly change the spacing without messing up all these curves. Select the nodes you want to change, press Control and Shift and left arrow. Sorry, press C, Shift and left arrow. So now you can see that the points in upper points are also changing respectively. So if I want to have my spacing right spacing 60 all the time, even if I change the point, so I can go to here and click equal to 60. So now it has bind to 60 points. So even if I change this to here, it will automatically change the spacing to make it 60. So this comes in handy when you are making sure that spacing stays the same while editing glyphs. Okay, this look as good as we can make right now. So now we have created N and O in bold weight. We will create it in lightweight. So usually I would create whole characters in bold weight and then move on to lightweight, but for this tutorial we will create them along with lightweight and bold weight. So we will, so there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can just copy shapes from bold masters and paste it there and change weight. So now our lightweight also has the same shapes, and we'll change the thickness to like 70. Like 65 or something. Is there automatic setup that turns light typeface to bold once? Yes, there is a setup. So okay, so now we have our O in lightweight. For N we will do this automatic setup. So when you have whichever glyphs you want to change, click those glyphs, right click, go to actions, and from this you can make a small adjustment in your glyphs. You can scale the glyph, shift it horizontally, make it italic or slanted. You can rotate, decompose, all those things. For this we will make it change weight. So if you adjust this left or right, you can see the weight has changed. So these are two different methods to change the spacing. So this will make 20 points thicker. If we click -20, it will make 20 points lighter. So you can see that it has created I think -20 is nice. So these are different parameters: skip vertical dimension, skip proportions, adjust side bearing. So if I have selected the only one character, I make sure this is on selected and this is on current layer. If it is on all, it will make these changes to all characters. If I click on run and then close, you can see that it has changed slightly. So we can see the see this preview in red because this instance panel was on. So ignore this for now. The automatic method is there, but it is not as good as we would want to be. You would have to make those changes by hand anyway, but sometimes it is useful when you want to make a small changes. So if you want to make a 5 points thicker or 5 points lighter, you can do this. But for bigger change, it is not as useful. So for this O, we have horizontal weight of 70, in this 65. So we'll change this to so one another thing you can do is, if you click on this bold eye icon, you can see the bold layer in background. So this is useful sometimes to make sure that your typeface look, your glyph look in sync with the bold. We will quickly make small adjustments. So you can see this, there is a square node point. So this square node point is a sharp point. So if you double click on it, it will make a tangent. So if for example, if this point is there, if I double click on it, it will make a square point. In square point, you can make a sharp angle. If I double click on it, it will again make a smooth point, and smooth point will be smooth. We'll delete it for now. When you double click on tuning lines, it will make handle tension similar on both sides. So let's say if it was here before, I double click on this tuning line, it will make the handle tensions equal. So if I want to move the point without changing handles, I will press Alt and then click on this point. So I will also make sure that this weight is not bigger than this weight. So this process goes back and forth with light and bold. So there is no way like you are making all this character one by one. You will always go back and make changes as they are needed. equal to 60. Okay, now you can see that our now we will look at how to make light and bold masters compatible with each other. This is very important step when you are creating a big typeface, because each layer has to be compatible. So what it means by layers are compatible is that the number of node points and the number of shapes and the type of those node points is similar across clip. So if I can see that if I goes to bold layer, so there is this one shape and there is this second shape. So you can see in this element panel that n has two shapes, one with 5 nodes and second with 16 nodes. So if I go to light layer, I also have to make sure that uh, this first shape is with same number of node and the second shape is in the same number of nodes. It also has to be in the same order. If I change the ordering, you can see this has changed to red. So red means two master layers are not compatible. If I change this, it will automatically turn to greenish. Also the starting point also has to be the similar. So this shapes has starting point with this arrow. So this is in like bottom left corner. So for this bold weight also it has to be in bottom left corner. For this shape, the start point is here and this one, the start point is there. So this will not interpolate correctly. So you can see that this is like oranges or something. If I want to change the node point, I just click on whichever node I want to make first, right click on and set start point. So it has changed start point. So right now here and there all those are same and now it has turned to green. Make sure that you okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay, there was another point. The type of node also has to be similar. So if this is square here, but this is round, it sometimes make errors, but sometimes it is okay. So there is another method to check the master's compatibility. You click on this heart icon, matchmaker icon, and you will see this panel. So you can drag and drop, drag to see the two masters and how they interpolate between each other. If I change the node start point from here to somewhere here, if I click on this, you can see that it has messed up. So sometimes if I click on auto match masters, it will automatically match the master, but sometimes it does not work. So you can see that it has matched the masters, but for 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 this shape it is okay, but for the second shape it has matched uh, differently. So sometimes it makes extra node points and that, so we don't want that. So we will fix it manually. If we want the start point to be on top, on every shape we will have it on top. And if I go here again, you can see that the status is green, and my shape is ready for interpolation. So what it means by interpolation is that if I go to Windows panel and variations, you can see this new panel variations. So if I click mouse here and there, you can see on preview panel that it will change the weight. Let's make it bigger. So this way you can check if masters are interpolated correctly or not. The another way is click on this instance layer. This is a read only layer. This layer only appears when the both masters are compatible with each other. If I click on instance layer and change the sliders here, you can see the live preview of how those shapes are interpolated between each other. Okay, let me read comments if someone has questions. Okay, thank you for joining. So in instance layer you will be able to see the point, but you won't be able to change them. Is it? So right now we have created two glyphs N and O. We will move on to A, I, E, P, etc. Let's quickly create A. So when you are creating a new glyphs, it is better that some glyphs are there for comparison. So I will select all those three glyphs and double click. So now I have this N, O, and there is another glyphs here, but it is not visible. I double click on it. You can see that this is glyph A. This is where I'm supposed to create A. So I will change it to bold master, because it is recommended that you create a bold weight first and then create a lightweight. I will use rapid sketch tool. It is recommended that you make a shape in paper and on paper first and import it here and trace it. So let's say we want to, for that we will Google some shapes that we want to make. We will just, sorry. Ideally you are supposed to create let's let's draw a on digital paper. So let's say we want to have create a like this. Don't mind my drawing, I'm drawing here. So So if you have created drawing on paper, this will be more fine. But for example, I'm creating a rough sketch of how I want to make my A. It's horrible, but don't mind it. I hope this will provide a better example. Our A, we will. So if you want to import any image onto FontLab, you can just copy paste from anywhere or drag and drop. So right now I have copied this image. I close this, don't need to save it. Come here and press Ctrl V, so you can see that my image has translated over here. So right now I will, if I press Ctrl T, I can see this handles and change the shape of this image. I will press Shift to make changes, change it proportionally. So now this image is on the bold layer itself. So if I start creating on it, this image might interfere with other shapes. So I like to make it in background layer. So the way to make the copy the current shape into background is Ctrl M. So, or you can go to create tools and create a mask, copy to mask. So if I press Ctrl M, you will see this new layer appear, mask.bold. So this is the mask layer. If I delete this image, I can see this mask in background. So this is not editable right now, but I can still see in background, and I can freely create other shapes on top of it. If I want to edit the mask, I go to this mask layer from here, and now I can change the shape or make any change if I want. If I come to bold layer again, now I can create it, create the characters freely. So I like to use a rapid sketch tool. The shortcut is 5. Press 5 on your keyboard and this rapid sketch tool will appear. So the way you make node point is find a points, find an extreme point. So this will be extreme point, because this is you have to imagine a shape in a square. So whichever point the edge will touch, it will be the extreme point. So if I have this guideline here, if I drag and drop here, so here it will touch the shape. So this will be extreme point, and another will be here, another will be here, and so on. I will delete this guide. For horizontal also, if I drag it over here and it touches here, the extreme point will be here. If I am on here, the extreme point will be here and here somewhere. So I'll again go to rapid sketch tool and click on the extremes that I will be there. So now my shape has created. I will double click on this, double click. So double clicking will make a smooth node point. Then I will click on this, double click, double click. Now you can see that roughly my shape of A is created. Again, I will go to rapid sketch tool by pressing 5 on keyboard, or I will select it from the menu. I will create the extreme points. Double click here, double click here, double click. So this is, so make sure that counter direction is counterclockwise, reverse direction. So you can see this arrow is pointing outwards, so it should point outwards. This is also pointing outwards, so my shape is visible nicely. So I will now make a small adjustment. So this should be 140. Now if I have satisfied with result, I can remove this mask. If I press Ctrl K, the mask will be cleared and I can make changes freely in the shape without any. So this we have kept our overshoot at 10 points, so we will shift it to 10 points. Sometimes we make sure that the shape has some visual consistency. You can see this part of A, sorry, this part of A looks like it has cut out from N, so we can make sure that it looks visually similar to N. We have a small cutout here, so we'll make it here as well. This is 50 point in height and 20 point in width. You can also move the space very precisely if you press Ctrl and click on the middle of the shape and drag it like this. I will quickly adjust all those handles. So our this width is 135. So I'll make sure it is 135. This is 122 or 117. Okay. So this is where I can make a decision what kind of typeface I want to make. If I want to keep the counter open or not, if I want to make something like this. Or not. It is very easy to create a typeface, but it is very hard to create a very good typeface. So if you think that one day you will sit and you will create a typeface, you will sell it, that does not happen very often in real life. It takes a lot of time to create a good typeface, because even after making all those shapes, you have to make sure that the kerning is right, the spacing between the characters like T, O is consistent. I like it this way better. So this is not a typeface design, like creating shapes type of tutorial, because I might not be the right person to teach you how to create those shapes perfectly, but I can teach you the software. So you can see that my A looks a little bit smaller and little bit heavyweight. So in typeface design, when you are basically defining a shape, it is better to make a big changes very quickly and the small changes later on. So if you want to see how it looks, how it will look if I move it right or left, don't make changes like 1 or 2 point. Press shift and make 10, make it 10 points bigger or smaller, and you will be able to see the changes more effectively. Still, it does not look right. My system is not very good at handling streaming, recording, and all those softwares at the same time, I guess. I will leave it at here for now. Hmm. So now we have created an OA. So now you will be able to see if there is inconsistency in spacing or not. You can see the spacing between A and O is not quite right. So now we will change the spacing. You can see that the right side spacing and left side spacing is not quite similar. Make Let's first create a light variant of A so that we can make a better comparison. You can also change the cover by dragging this point. Because we have copied a shape from bold to light, we will not face any masters incompatibility issues. Okay. Now we will make sure that spacing adjustments are right. There are different ways you can make sure that you have consistent spacing. Okay, this looks okay. I'm pressing C and shifting those node points so it will make changes on whole shape. I think 3 letters are enough to understand how all those characters, to make sure that what things to keep in mind. So the another important aspect of typeface is open type features. So if you go to Windows panel and click on features, that's it, you can see that this panel has empty features. So this is for language system, this is for Latin font, so it is Latin and Greek. So this will, I will just remove it for now. So this will depend on what script typeface you are making. FontLab automatically create features for Latin typeface, but if you are creating other script typeface for like Arabic or any other Indian scripts, you will have to write this code manually. You can see how to write the OpenType code from the website like opentypecookbook.com, or you can refer to Microsoft Docs for typography. But this it is quite complicated process, and even if you create a feature code for like index script, FontLab does not compile those typeface inbuilt. So you would have to use external scripts like Google's FontMake. So that is another steps. I will probably make tutorials on that in future, but for now I will be focusing on Latin script. You can go to this panel and click on add auto features. So this will automatically create open type code for you. So now you can see that we have open type code for alternate and superiors and fractions. So if I type 1/4, it will be automatically replaced by a glyph called 1/4, which we have created specifically for like 1/2, 3/4, 1/4, 1/2, and so on. So we'll close the file and open it again. This is some kind of bug from FontLab. I should be able to view the preview of what kind of typeface I'm supposed to make, but somehow it is not showing for all these clips. Things happen. So yeah, This is it. Okay, this is already 2 hours tutorial. So these are the OpenType features, and once you have completed the whole set, and make sure that it is compatible. If I turn on this preview, I can see that it is compatible, and I can also preview instance on how it will look. Now I can export the typeface from inbuilt, goes to file and export font as, and there are different profiles you can make your typeface. If you are creating a variable font, click on this variable tt, and if you want to output OTF file, click on this OpenType OTF or OpenType TT. For now we will create OpenType PS. Make sure you are on instance layer, and you have all this layer, instance layer selected, and your destination could be your source or another folder you have defined. If I click on export, it will create OTF files. If I go to my folder, I can see that the another folder called OpenType PS has been created. If I double click on it, I have all my typeface files ready. If I double click on bold, I can see in preview that we have created only 3 letters, so O and A. So this is regular weight, this is bold, and this is light. Another typeface I use another website I use regularly is fontdrop.com. So this is where you can test your typeface. You drag and drop your typeface file, and you can see the properties of typeface, and you can also try on typeface. You can also preview your variable fonts. If I also make a variable typeface for this file, I'll click on variable tt, click on export. It has created this error, maybe because we have not completed all those clips. So let me try by deleting all those clips. Now you can see I have only 3 clips and a space in my typeface. I will auto create all those. I will remove all those features and click on add auto features, because we don't have any clips, so we will not have any feature code. Then I again go to variable typeface, and okay, now it has successfully compiled a variable typeface as well. So if I drag and drop my variable typeface, you can see that I have my typeface name is Titan, but we only had a clips called A, N, and O. So this A, N you can see in this our created typeface. We can type ourselves. I will remove this A, N, O, N, O, N, O. We will increase the size, and if I change this, you can see that you can see it changes weight. So this is our variable font. You can view different properties of a font here. this is waterfall layers. If you have created all those clips, you will be able to see it properly. If you goes to data, you can see that our designer and designer URL and other information is also there. Let's try our OTF files. We'll go to regular, and you can see we have regular weight of the same typeface. So yeah, this is it. This is how you can get started with creating a typeface. Go to drawing, you will see all these clips we need to create to make a whole typeface. In the end, we will also make sure that we have right spacing and kerning for our clips. So this is spacing panel. This is where you can define spacing, and this is kerning panel. This is where you can define spatial kerning. So if I want to have less space between O and A, I can drag and I can click on this. Wait, somehow this is not working right now. So you can drag the glyph and change the kerning. All of the kerning pairs will be visible here. The kerning comes at a later stage of font production. So if you, and it is not 100% necessary to have kerning for your fonts. Some of the popular fonts like Poppins, it has 0 kerning pairs. So yeah, that depends on your typeface. I think this is it. If anybody has questions, you can ask in the comments. I will be here for like few more minutes. I hope the voice was clear. I have no idea what is the situations over there. Okay, so how to create U caret and other letters. So if I had like a Latin simple set and I need to make a tilde, so I'll go to tilde characters and I will create a tilde first. So let's assume that this is our tilde for which will go over an O or A. So you have to use anchors for that. If I click right click on and click add anchors, you can see this underscore top is there. I can have this space 0 because tilde does not require any spacing. So let's say if I would want it here on top, I will set it this way. Now I have N and O glyphs. So I will add another anchor. Click on add anchor. Somehow something is not working on FontLab. I will copy this anchor here. Oh, I am on instance layer, that's why I was not able to make anchor. I will click on add anchor. I have created this in light layer. I will copy this to bold. I will also copy the anchor from bold. I will make it 0 spacing. Okay, so now you can see that the anchor preview is there. If I goes to view, show anchor pins and anchor cloud, you can see that this anchor is there. So whenever I press O and tilde, it will automatically attach here. I can also add that anchor here. So by moving this point, I can change the position of anchor. You also have to make sure that the same anchor is available in all glyphs layers. If you have anchor in one layer and other layer does not have anchor, it will create a problem when you are exporting fonts. So this is how you can create all those accented characters. Okay, so there is a method to create a glyph automatically. So you can see that we have created A and we have created tilde. So we don't need to actually make a tilde characters. So if we have this a tilde glyphs, so as soon as I double click on this a tilde, my glyph has automatically created from components. It will take a from a, the component for a from a, and tilde from tilde, and it will automatically create a tilde. So if I click on O tilde and press enter, it will automatically take O and tilde from there, and my glyph will be created automatically. There will be n somewhere. So yeah, this is how you first create this accent and make sure you have related anchor points on glyphs, and as soon as you create them, they will be placed here automatically. And if you want to change the position, you can change the position by sliding this shapes. You can see these shapes are different than the shapes here on A or N. So these are actually components. So the components, you can see this is A, so this is reference from A. So if I type A here and I make changes here, my changes will be reflected here, because this is the component of A and not an actual space, actual shape. So yeah, this is also another method. You can also build component automatically. So if I want a tilde, I can specify by a plus, and if I if I remove this for now and I type a plus tilde and press alt and click on this build icon, it will automatically build the shape for me. I can make it anything I want. If I press n plus tilde and click on build icon, if I press alt, it will build for all layer, and if I don't press alt, it will build for the selected layer only. So this is another method. You can quickly create shapes or repeated shapes, so you don't need to create all the shapes manually. So yeah, so these are some of the advanced methods, and you will figure out on your own as you start using the software. Okay, sure. uh, so yeah, that's it for today's tutorial. It has been like almost 2 hours long. I hope this was helpful. See you guys next time.